Yo, so WandaVision was crazy.
I'm all about the glory. Just wait and see. God's working in me. I'm all about His glory. I'm all about His glory. Just wait and see. God's working.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Michael Alex McLean from McLean Ministries, and I'm giving you God's perspective. Now, this is my first episode review from WandaVision covering episode 7. So if you go look at my previous videos, it has nothing to do with WandaVision. This is my first video actually giving reviews, but I have been keeping up with it. I've been watching it. I love Marvel. I love this show. So check out this episode review. Now, I am putting spoilers in here. So it is going to spoil it for you if you have not seen WandaVision. So I'm giving you a warning. Go ahead and if you haven't seen it, go watch WandaVision. Come back, watch the review, and then let's get into it. So you've been warned. Getting ready to get into spoilers. Let's go. All right, so we start out at WandaVision, episode 7. We know that she has expanded the Hex. In episode 6, all the people from SWORD, the SWORD agency, they're now inside the Hex. Well, most of them, except for the leader of the head guy. He's not in. But most of the SWORD that was outside the Hex, they have been now covered by the Hex. One has expanded the Hex, but we're finding out that she's losing her powers. She's losing control of her powers inside the Hex. So like you see like things glitching and things like that. They're like it's all glitching. So like if you guys have been watching it and keeping up with it, it started out in black and white. The show started out in black and white because Marvel is doing this thing with WandaVision that it's taking us through the different eras of TV shows. So in the beginning of the show, you have your black and white, like I Love Lucy and all that good stuff. And here that's progressed all the way up to probably, I would guess say early 90s, 2000s, kind of like that in the TV era. So in episode 7, the TV era that they're reflecting is mostly, you would consider it like The Office. So if you're a big fan of The Office or something like that, like my wife is a big fan of The Office, so she was like going nuts, like, oh my gosh, it's kind of like The Office, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, so if you watch The Office and you see, they do their little interviews and things like that during the show, kind of like a, it's kind of like a reality TV show where they give their interviews inside the show. It's just like that. It's awesome. It's great. You get to see Wanda giving her interviews and her thoughts and things like that. So if you love The Office and you like that type of stuff, episode 7 will cater just for you. So, but you have Wanda now though. She's I guess because she has expanded the Hex, she's now kind of losing control over the Hex. So like you start seeing different objects that have been converted into the 90s era sometimes go back to the 50s era. So like what was a carton of milk in the 90s like glitched and went to black and white or something like that. And things that she had already altered, it's kind of like going back to the original things. So Wanda is like tripping. She like, I don't know what's happening. Like, this is crazy in her little interviews. And you're starting to see that she's kind of not understanding what's going on, not understanding what's happening. But the hit or the storyline that they're having at the beginning of the show is that Wanda's like, bro, like, I'm through for the day. Like, she don't want to mess with her kids. She don't want to fool with her kids. She wants to stay in bed. All that good stuff. She just want to be left alone. And if you really looked at the beginning of the credits or like them introducing the show, like every Every episode they do like an introduction to the WandaVision show. This time, a lot of it was just kind of like Wanda by itself. And at the end, it'll say Vision. So they're really trying to drive home that Wanda really doesn't want to be messed with. She really don't want to be bothered right now. Not by her kids, not by Vision. Like, she just want to be left alone. Like, all the pain, all the issues, it's kind of weighing on her now. And so she kind of wants to be left alone. And even though she doesn't understand what's happening with the hex, why it's like glitching and stuff like that. At this point, she kind of like, man, it's whatever. I got it all under control. It's fine. I don't know what's happening. It's weird, but whatever. So you got that going on. And so Wanda, you have people like Monica Rambeau. Monica Rambeau is trying to get into the hex. So if you've been watching the show, Monica Rambeau was originally inside the hex. Wanda found out that she wasn't supposed to be there, so she kicked her out with the powers. Super cool scene. But now she's trying to find her way back in. Monica Rambeau is trying to find her way back in. Now, if we remember, Darcy was trying to tell her, she was like, look, you can't really go back in the hex because, girl, your molecular system has been changing. It's been changing. And so she's like, it's not wise for you to go back up in there. But you know her. She won't go back up in there. She wanted to be Captain Save Somebody. So she wanted to go back inside the hex. So she finds a way to try to get back in the hex. So she meets this person that works for SWORD. They give her this big old tank. She drives it and hits the hex. She can't get inside. She can't get inside the hex with the vehicle. And so the vehicle gets spit out of the hex. It's just like, pew, it goes out. And so Monica Rambeau's like, look, I'm going to push it in. I'm going to get in on my own. And so she goes into the hex without a vehicle. And she just goes in by herself. And she pushes the hex on it. The hex is kind of like trying to kick her out. And then you see different realities of herself. You saw what she looked like before when she was originally in the hex. You saw different aspects of herself. You start hearing Captain Marvel talk to her from a scene in Captain Marvel when she was a little girl and Captain Marvel was talking to him. She was hearing Captain Marvel's voice, all that good stuff, and she finally presses through and she gets inside the hex. But she finally gets her powers. So if you guys follow Marvel or anything, you know that Monica Rambeau ends up getting powers. So in the MCU. So guess what? She got some powers. Yes. So so I don't know if they're trying to say that because of being inside the hex changes her molecular system, so now that's what made her get her powers, or they're trying to say that she's always had these powers. I don't know where Marvel's gonna go with that, or how to say she got her powers. But from what we know, just by watching, is that because she kept going inside of the hex the second time, her molecular system has changed, and so now it's caused her to have superpowers. And so, oh yes. So then then she goes to see Wanda and trying to help Wanda, say, look, Wanda, like SWORD, they finna drop bombs on this place and blame it on you because they want to get Vision back because SWORD is over weapons and they're gonna try to weaponize Vision. So she's trying to tell Wanda this, and Wanda's like, nah, I ain't hearing it. I kicked you out before, and I'm gonna keep kicking you out. You don't belong here. So they get into a little altercation, and Wanda's finna be like, use her powers. They finna fight. She like lifts her up in the sky, and she like, I'm finna take you out. And so she drops her to the ground, thinking that she's gonna really hurt Monica, and Monica uses those powers like boom, like she like, nah, you can take me out. But anyway, they're arguing and stuff. And they're arguing, they're getting to it. And then everyone knows the nosy neighbor that Wanda has. Like if you've been watching the show, the nosy neighbor she has, they call her Agatha Heartless. So she comes and gets Wanda. She's like, hey, you need to go, Monica. Like, this ain't what that is. She told you to leave. Leave us alone. And she takes her to her house. Okay, she takes her to her house. Meanwhile, you got Vision over here trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Because even though he's inside the hex, and even though we know Vision has no idea who he is. Like, he doesn't understand that he was part of the Avengers. He doesn't remember when Thanos killed him. He doesn't remember that Wanda had to destroy the Mind Stone and it eventually killed him because he was connected to the Mind Stone. So he trying to figure out what is going on. All he know is that I'm Vision and that I love Wanda. That's all he know. But he finds Darcy because remember I told you Sword got sucked in to the hex. So he finds Darcy and he awakens Darcy to herself. She has come to herself. My God. She came to herself. And so he uses powers to bring her to her normal mind. And so Darcy begins to tell Vision, yo, like, you used to be part of the Avengers. She had to kill you. Like, really going over what happened in Infinity War and Endgame. Reminding him of what happened because he doesn't remember anymore. So tells him. And so this really gives Vision a better perspective on what Wanda was doing. Because him and Wanda have been arguing in episodes past because he figured out like Wanda's controlling everything in this hex and he like, this wrong, like people need to get out, like you holding people against their will. So he's starting to really figure out why and having more sympathy to her because he's like, oh, I don't even understand what she's been through. Like all I know is that I'm here in the hex. She didn't really understand the trauma and pain that Wanda's going through right now. So he gets a better perspective of that. And so he's trying to get to Wanda or whatever. But either Wanda or what we'll find out, who's also behind this, which is Agatha Harkness, he doesn't know who, like somebody is trying to stop him from getting to Wanda. So anyway, so that happens. So Vision is going through that. And so we go back to the house. Where of Agatha Harkness. Now, if you look at her house, it seems very weird, like witchcraft, like, oh my gosh, like it's like you got bugs on your windows, like crazy. Earlier in the episode, Wanda sends her kids over there, and they're gone, like, they're not there, and so Wanda's like, "Yo, where my kids?" Like, everybody, as a mama, you send your kids to a neighbor house. And you get to your neighbor house with kids like that, you're like, yo, where my kids at? And so, turns out, Agatha Harkness talks about, hey, your kids are in the basement, or whatever. So Wanda goes down to the basement looking for her kids. You know what I'm saying? Trying to see where they're at. We find out now that her kids are not down there. And in the basement, it looks even more crazy. Like you got a spell book there. You have so many freaky stuff in that basement. And it turns out that Agatha Heartless also has powers. She is like the big bad. She is the reason why things are going wrong inside the hex. She is the reason why Quicksilver is back. She's the reason why all the things that are bad happening. Right. So, like I was saying, she was the reason all the bad stuff in the hex was going on. So that's crazy. It reveals that Agatha Harkness is the villain. So somehow, some way, she's gonna be connected to everything that's happening. Because obviously we don't want Wanda to be the bad guy. Although Wanda feels like the bad guy, and it seems as if we're watching the show, more and more she seems like more of the bad guy. But it seems as if now that Agatha Harkness has come in, we're going to see who really is the mastermind behind all this, or who really is working in beneath the surface, probably manipulating Wanda. And you saw these little purple things going around Wanda's eyes. So I don't know if next episode Wanda will now be under the control of Agatha Heartless or not. Hopefully not. Hopefully she's not under her control, but we'll see. It seems as if it's possible that Wanda will be under the control now of Agatha Heartless, because we saw her eyes, Wanda's eyes turn purple, and purple in the show is signifying that Agatha's doing something, and red is signifying that Wanda's doing something. So we'll see going forward next week if Wanda is now going to be under the control of Agatha the Heartless. Okay? And probably the same thing for Quicksilver as well, because you'll see in the end credit scenes that Quicksilver seems like he's on Agatha the Heartless side. And then Monica Rambeau's eyes also turn purple. So we'll see if Wanda, Monica Rambeau, and Quicksilver are all under the control of Agatha Heartless. So we'll see if that happens. But to me, it was a great show, awesome show. Some of the commentators that I listened to didn't think this was the best, but I think because of what it revealed, to me, it seems like one of the best episodes. And then the fact that I got to see my wife get excited because of The Office. She loves The Office, and that it was really a cool episode because of what they revealed. So, but here is what I saw in the spirit. So I told you anytime I do a video review, or I give my commentary on my thoughts on a particular movie or anything that's happening in life, I'm going to give you God's perspective, which is why the title is God's Perspective. So with that being said, let's get into something spiritual. A little nugget that I want to share with you when I watched WandaVision. So when I watched WandaVision, two scriptures came up to mind. One was John 8:32 and Romans 1:25. So John 8:32 says, "And we will know the truth, and the truth will make us free." Everyone, that's a very popular scripture. And then Romans 1:25 also says this, which this also brought this something to my mind. It says, "Because they have exchanged the truth of God for a lie, and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen." So these two scriptures came to mind watching WandaVision. First of all, like I said, if you've been following the first 7 episodes, you'll see and notice that Wanda, although she doesn't know how she made the hex happen, but she does know that she's in control. But she doesn't do what she can to try and change the situation. Rather, she loves her situation because Vision is now alive. And she's hurting because Vision's gone. She lost her brother in Avengers Age of Ultron. She suffered great loss with all this. She was dusted for a minute or whatever in Infinity War. She's been through a whole bunch. And so she doesn't try and change the situation, although she knows that somehow, some way she's in control of everything. She doesn't change the situation. Rather, she loves the situation and does all she can to keep the situation where it is, even though she knows morally it is wrong. And you'll see a very touching scene when Monica Rambeau and Wanda are having their dialogue in episode 7. Monica kind of tells Wanda that, hey, when you live in the truth, when you believe in the truth, it's way better than living in a lie. Wanda is literally living in a lie. Literally living in a lie. It's a world she created. It's a world that's all about her, that's self-serving to herself, and it's all about Wanda and Vision, but mostly her. It's all about her. All this was done by her, for her, like she's playing like she's God. And so that brings me to Romans 1:25. We've all been in a situation where something has happened in our life. We are hurting for some reason, whether it be a death in the family, whether we lost our job, and we want to turn to other things rather than God, because we think that those other things can satisfy us. We think that these other things like TV, some small like TV or something, alcohol, drugs, whatever that thing is that you think can satisfy you outside of God, we've had those times. We've experienced those times where that's all we wanted to do. And so even though we understood that God is the answer, we wanted to do everything we could to be satisfied from these other things rather than God. And so it's very telling. In Romans 1:25, it clearly says that they have exchanged the truth for a lie. Okay? Now, if you do the hermeneutics on Romans chapter 1, we're talking about, it goes into a whole bunch of, there's a specific people that they're talking about. But I want to use this scripture to help us see something in this particular video. So they're exchanging the truth for a lie. So we know that God can satisfy us, but we're going to reject that truth and accept this new truth, or this lie. We think we call it truth, but it's really lie, that God is this weed or this alcohol or this TV show or this whatever can satisfy me or make me feel better rather than God. And everyone has been guilty of that in some point in our life. And so it's same as Wanda. Wanda knows the truth. She knows that Vision is dead. She knows that all these people are under her control, but she lives as if that everyone's fine and this is just a peaceful place. It's not. It's a lie. It's full of chaos. People are suffering. You know what I'm saying? And she rejects that truth for the lie because it's self-pleasing to her. It's about herself. And so I'll give myself for example. Recently, I've just lost my grandmother. She passed away. And before she died, someone called me. My grandfather called me and said, "Hey, we're taking her to the hospital. We need you to pray. We need you to pray. Please pray." And I missed that phone call because I was asleep. And when I woke up and I figured out she died, and then I heard the voicemail, it said that, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe if I had prayed, she would not die. She would have been alive. And to be honest, that's not the truth. God is sovereign. He's completely sovereign. His will, whatever his will was for her life, that's what it was going to be. It was appointed for her to die. And I had to accept that truth and be okay with that and understand that death is a part of life because of the fall of man. So, but here's the hope in that. The truth sets us free. In John 8:32, it tells us that the truth will set us free. The truth of God. The truth that we can come to him and he is the one that can satisfy us. That's the truth. And if we accept that truth, it'll make us free. It'll make us and we'll still hurt at times. We'll still have pain. Like, I still hurt that my grandmother's gone. I still hurt of the losses that I've had in the past and the things that I've went through in the past that brought me pain. And guess what? At times I still feel those hurts, but I know that if I go to God and live in the truth that God is the one that satisfies, God is the one that I need, God is the one that I hope for and that I long for, and that one day I'm going to be with Him and there'll be no more sorrow, no more sadness. It'll be all about Him and all about goodness and truth. Everything that is good and lovely will be there with Him. If I know that and I live in that truth, then it makes that pain more bearable. And then I, in my pain, will not react and go to things that will cause me harm or will cause me even greater pain. Because if you watch our sister Wanda, guess what? She was still in agony, in grief, even though she made this alternate reality just for herself, just for self-satisfaction. She did all that for self, and she still carries grief. She still does not want to deal with the grief that she's dealing with. And because she can't, she's causing herself more grief. My brothers and sisters, please understand that if we do not live in the truth of God and the truth that He has revealed to us, we will find ourselves in deeper hurt and pain. We'll cause ourselves to be led to even greater worry, greater stress than we had before that thing afflicted us. God is the answer, guys. He is the way out. His truth makes us free. I encourage you today to live in freedom, live in joy, live in His love. And that is God's perspective. So thank you guys for listening to the video. I'm very excited about this YouTube channel called God's Perspective I'm doing for you. I really hope that you're blessed by this. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. It's amazing. Please like and subscribe. That'd be great. Our goal is 100 subscribers. We want to get to 100 subscribers. Okay, so that's our goal. So I want you to share this video, like, subscribe, hit the notification link so that when I post, you'll get it immediately. So go go subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share it out to others, because our goal is 100 subscribers. Thank you. Have a blessed day. And this is God's Perspective.
Just wait and see. God's working in me. I'm all about His glory. I'm all about His glory. Just wait and see. God's working in me. I'm all about